Hello, my name is Latte Enough Mystery Man, and this is my AEW Blood and Guts review for the episode that aired Wednesday, July 19th, 2023. And before I get into this show, I'm sure some of you are wondering why I haven't, uploaded in a month. Well, short answer is I absolutely 100% can no longer upload Bold is a Beautiful Review because I don't actually watch the episodes anymore. I just replay them and sometimes comment on them. But other than that, I do nothing else with the videos. So, on that note, let's talk about Dynamite. AEW Blood and Guts, the third annual AEW Blood and Guts event. My general thoughts of the Blood and Guts as a whole concept, as clearly as everyone knows, it is basically not so much a parody, but more so like a different take on WCW, current day WWE War Games. That's what the noble concept of this is. It's a take on that. Because Vince McMahon made a thing that said we're not Blood and Guts in 2019, so AEW took that and ran with it. And the first Blood and Guts was supposed to be held March of 2020, but as we all know, COVID happened, so it was held it was held in, I think, May of 2021. Correct me if May of 2021. Then it was held again, I think, last year in June of 2022. Now here we are in July of 2023. So there've been 3 matches and 1 announced match that never took place. So getting into this show, it started off with Jungle Boy Jack Perry. I think now it's just Jack Perry. How do I explain this without sounding weird? Basically, Jack Perry was in a desert. Yes, he was. Well, he was in this desert, and he buried his boots that, according to the commentators, are the only boots he's ever worn in AEW. Because he had a whole new wing gear tonight. So he buried those, and then he just sands it. No, at first they played, Baltimore, whoa, Tarzan Boy. Everybody was sort of just singing it. We didn't get Taz singing it because, well, Taz's commentary throughout this whole pay-per-view throughout this whole event was so phenomenal. Such great from Taz, just so upset that his son lost. So, Jack Perry buried his boots, and then he gets in a limo, which... Yeah, okay. I would love to know how he got that limo there. Honestly, it's like, did he call the limo driver and go, "Hey, limo driver, I need you to show up about maybe 10 minutes after I bury my boots"? And the limo driver like, "Okay, sounds good." Anyway, I guess the limo driver don't care as long as he gets paid. So, Jack Perry's new theme song is not a song. It's basically a sound effect. Kind of sound like a man yelling. But I don't exactly know what it is. So, first match for the FTW Championship, Jack Perry versus Hook. And Jack Perry wins, so there's a little sport. That's Jack Perry wins, so let's go through this match. Hook started off hard when Hook avoided Jack Perry after he does his whole I stand in the corner for the referee to hit him in the back. Perry takes over, and I guess he's playing a little good. He's doing okay now. I've never been a big fan of Jack Perry. To me, he just comes off as absolutely zero charisma whatsoever. It's amazing his father is the late, great Luke Perry, because he has none of his charisma. But he's okay, I guess. They go to the floor in less than 5 minutes into the match. Perry tries a German suplex on the floor, but fails. Hook gets a T-board suplex, which was pretty good. And Taz is like, T-board suplex from Hook. Also, then they talk about how the FTW Championship is not recognized by any company, and that's the whole thing, that it's not a recognized championship. So I got me thinking, if it's not a recognized championship, shouldn't that mean it could be won? It could be won by disqualification. Like, wouldn't that have been a better way for Jack Perry to win this match than to win it by disqualification or count out to really get over his new heel motive? Since it's not recognized, go where there's no rules, so he can win it however. Okay, and then we get to a part of the match which I don't know who came up with this. Maybe Dave, maybe Tony, because he wanted to do something. Maybe Tony Khan, because he wanted to do something with a coochie. Jack Perry does Randy Orton's draping DDT. And well, I know this is wrestling, so you can do whatever you want. But really, Tony Khan, you thought that was a good idea to do one of Randy Orton's most famous moves with Jungle Boy Jack Perry? Okay, Tony. Yeah, okay. So that, I mean, he hit it pretty well. Hook is extremely over with the crowd. They're chanting Hook and everything. He is extremely over with the Hook. And Perry suplex Hook, and Hook gets up, and the crowd tells Perry to F off. Like, Jack Perry suplexes him. Hook stands up. Everyone in the crowd explode and tell Jack Perry he effed up because I don't know if I can cuss on YouTube. So what else? Suplex, pin, Perry kicks out. Perry grabs the referee, loads Hook, elbow to the back of the head, which does not look good at all. Which does not look good. It looks like he's just basically lightly drapes his neck like, ah. Thankfully, Hook kicks out. Perry grabs the FTW championship, tries to use it on the Hook. Then Paul Toner goes down. Hook gets a phantom free count, basically. Perry cracked Hook over the head with the FTW championship to win the match and the championship. New, the 6th ever FTW champion ever. Jungle Boy Jack Perry. Because there had been 6 FTW champions in history since like 1997 or something. The Human Suplex Machine Taz, the Homicide, Genocide, Suicide, or Sabu. The Machine Brian Cage, Absolute Ricky Starks. The cold-hearted handsome devil Hook, and now the current FTW champion Jungle Boy Jack Perry. My thoughts on this. My thoughts are not a good decision because this is Taz's belt. Like, whatever you want to say about the FTW Championship, whether you think it's stupid that it's an outlaw belt, I mean, I think it should be recognized because it's in the video game, for one. It's defended multiple times on every show, and it's defended multiple times. He's credited as the champion. So just make it a recognized championship and just go, well, yeah, it's supposed to be renegade, but it's actually recognized. It can just be won and lost and by disqualification. If the champion gets disqualified, he can lose the belt. That's all you gotta do. Say he has special FTW rules or something. I don't know. This could be done so much better. But it's Taz's belt. Now, I don't know if Taz did not know that Hook was losing, or Taz is just a better, or Taz has just gotten so much better on commentary over the years. Because I remember in TNA he was not that good, but good old Taz was on fire tonight after Hook when he was pissed. I don't know if Taz knew or didn't know that Hook was losing, but good Lord, did he come off as a man pissed off. Not so much pissed off that his son lost the match, pissed off that his son lost the belt that he created. Now, I'm pretty sure Taz must have known, but good Lord, if Taz did not know, good Lord, was he pissed. I mean, Taz took off his glasses and everything in the next segment. I don't get what the point of this is. Like, is this supposed to show us Jack Perry could be a good heel champion? Because I don't see how Jack Perry can be a good heel champion. Also, is he now just Jack Perry? Is he now just Jack Perry with his with his non-song song? It just seemed like a man yelling. I don't really get what's going on here. And Hook's undefeated streak is over. I think that this was kind of a cheap way to do that. He gets cracked over the head with a belt and he loses. Okay. Sure, that makes sense to somebody. I guess that makes sense to Tony Khan. But other than that, it was a pretty. I mean, it wasn't like an amazing match. But if I was to, to give it stars, I would give it a solid 2. I was thinking 2.5 stars. I was thinking 2 stars, but now that I think about it, it might be 3 stars. I'm gonna give it 3 stars. Mainly because of just how over Hook was with the crowd. Just for that alone. And I'm willing to give this a chance, possibly, and see where this goes. Because if this could lead to Jungle Boy Jack Perry being good, then maybe I'll see this as a good thing. But in like 3 weeks from now, if Hook wins the championship back, be like, what was the point? Like a month from now. Like, what if Hook just wins it back and at All In Wembley, in London or something? Wembley? What's it called? Wembley? Oh, good lord. Man, I cannot say. Is it Wembley? All in London, in that stadium they're going to in London. I can't say it, sorry. If Hook just wins it back down, or all in, or all out, then this probably be one of the most pointless title changes in pro wrestling history. But if Hook doesn't win it back until, say, maybe June of 2024, and he has a year-long waits to get back to the FTW Championship, and then it becomes a recognized championship, I could see that working for me. But other than that, I got nothing else to say about the match. 3 stars for that match. Maybe just because Hook was super over with the crowd, for nothing else but that. So, next we have, hold on, I got my notes here, oh yeah, Don Callis and Chris Jericho have a meeting about whether or not they're going to team up. And may I just say, Alex Marvez is so useless. Because every time I see him, I'm still thinking to myself, who is this man? Because when AEW started, I had no idea on planet Earth who this man was. And I still don't. He's just a dude who randomly shows up every once in a while. But Chris Jericho and Don Callis have a meeting about him joining the Callis family, the Don Callis family. They kept saying that, so it's supposed to be a group that we care about. But the only people in it is Don Callis and Konosuke Take a Shit. Konosuke Take a Shit. He's in it, so that's thrilling television, a guy from Japan. So they have a meeting, they kick the camelmen's out. MJF fears spicy food, and well, me and spicy food, it's okay. I don't like too much spicy food, but every once in a while, it's okay. Like when I go to when I go out to this Mexican restaurant I go to every Friday, I like to eat. I like the sauce is kind of spicy, and I really do like that sauce. But other than that, I'm not a big spicy food. I'm not big fan. But I don't feel it and think it's horrible like MJF apparently. My mom does not like spicy food, except for those purple Doritos for some weird reason. But anyway, so then MJF basically says that he recreated Hogan Andre with Big Bill. In front of 99,000 people in the Canadian Silverdome or something. I don't know. This was actually a pretty good segment. Something about pure alcohol, 100% pure alcohol, and then they yelled double clothesline, and it ended. Then another promo about the Don Callis family, them walking in, them calling Alex Marvez an idiot. Hey, you got no objection for me on that. Women's match. There was a women's match between Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and Kaylee Sparks, who I think is from New York. What to say about this match? There wasn't much because it lasted 1 minute and 5 seconds. Britt won. She did a sling blade. She locked in a lockjaw and won in 1 minute and 5 seconds. There's not much to tell you. If I keep talking about this match for like 15 more seconds, I probably would have been talking about the match longer than it lasted. So let's go through the match again. It was her entrance. She did a sling blade. She tossed her into the corner. She did the DMD taunt, put the glove on for the lockjaw. She locked in the lockjaw. The woman, the local talent jobber Kaylee Sparks tapped out. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, wins the match. There you go. I would tell you more, but literally nothing else happened. So then we get to the Blind Eliminator Tag Team Tournament Finals for a future AEW World Tag Team Championship match at AEW Saturday Night Collision on July 29th, 2023. Look for that review, ladies and gentlemen, on July 30th. Possibly July 30th, or maybe a few days later. I'll get to more of that later, but look out for that review coming. But I thought we was going to that match, but then instead they decided to go to an MJF and Adam Cole interview. Well, they want to win the tournament. So MJF makes fun of Sammy Guevara's wife, Ty Conti Mello, which I got nothing against it. Not a big fan of those people. Not a big fan of however they got together. It seems pretty bad if you look at all the evidence of how they got together. But I'm not here to gossip about people's personal lives, so I'll leave that there. But then they all get matching gear, which is kind of nice, I guess. MJF gives him, it looked like chops, wings. He gave him wings, basically. And Adam Cole gave him a jacket, which was, I guess, kind of nice. And then Sammy Guevara, and something about a plan B. Then a plan B. MJF said we don't need a plan B like Sammy Guevara's wife, Ty Conti Mello. Wyatt Strong showed up and he's upset that Adam Cole has a new friend. And he's in a neck brace. And speaking of Wyatt Strong, my first ever AEW, my first ever wrestling short was about Darby Allin. But my first big AEW short was about Wyatt Strong. Over 6,000 people clicked that for Wyatt Strong's debut. And what have they done with him since? He beat Chris Jericho because of Adam Cole outside. He did nothing for a while. Doesn't like MJF. And got his neck broken by Samoa Joe to set up a match between Samoa Joe and CM Punk that CM Punk beat Samoa Joe in to then lose to Absolute Ricky Starks in the Owen Hart men's tournament final. More on that in a little bit. So Adam Cole and MJF faces the Jericho Appreciation Society's the Red Death Daniel Garcia and the Spanish God Sammy Guevara. Let me talk about the Blind Eliminator Tournament. What in the world is this supposed to be? So it's a tournament. So according to Tony Khan in kayfabe, this is a tournament where a bunch of dudes all collectively decided we are going to team up with random people we have never teamed before, we have never teamed up with before, to fight in a tournament. So let me go through the brackets of this Eliminator tournament for you. The freewing brackets, because I got it right here. Hold on, give me 1 minute, give me a second. Oh, got it. Okay, so in the quarterfinals, Adam Cole and MJF defeated Daddy Magic Matt Bernard and one half of the Butcher, the Blade, and the Butcher. In the second first round, in the second quarterfinal, Matt Sydal and Trent Beretta got lost to Big Bill and Brian Cage, which I didn't even know that was a match that took place. I didn't even see that match. Okay. In the third first round match, Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy defeated Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland, Swerve in Our Glory. In the final quarterfinal match, Matt Hardy and Jeff Jarrett, very interesting tag team there, was lost to the Jericho Appreciation Society, Daniel Garcia and Sammy Guevara. In the first semifinals match, Adam Cole and MJF defeated the team of Big Bill and the Machine Brian Cage to advance to the finals, and Darby Allin and Owen Cassidy lost to the Jericho Appreciation Society. But the Owen Cassidy and Darby Allin had 8 tag team victories going into this tournament. It was 8-0. They don't even have a name, but they was 8-0. But they lost to Jericho Appreciation Society, Daniel Garcia and Sammy Guevara, which now brings it to the finals. What a flowing tournament this had been. And if you look at the tournament, it all took place over the course of July. The first was Dynamite, July 5th, and it ended July 19th. It didn't even take place throughout the whole month of July. It literally took place from July 5th to July 19th. Not even the first 19 days of July. Look at this. It took place over a 14 day, if you're doing the math correctly, it took place over 14 days. Yeah, it took place over 14 days. 14 days. That's like a week and a half less long than it took me to move into my new apartment. 14 days, ladies and gentlemen. 14 days. I'm just going to keep saying it. 14 days. This tournament took place over 14 days. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Week 1 was the quarterfinal. Week 2 was the semifinals. Week 3 was the finals. 2 weeks, ladies and gentlemen. But honestly, then Chris Jericho came out for some weird reason. Because I guess he's still involved. I guess the Jericho Appreciation Society is still a thing, I guess. I don't know. I don't care about Chris Jericho. He's lost so much credibility that it being 2023 and he's trying to pretend like he's doing Monday Night Raw gimmicks from 2013, like it's Raw from 10 years ago in 2013. Stop, Chris. Just stop, please. For you, for everybody, just stop. You haven't been great since you haven't been great since you lost the AEW. Actually, no, I take that back. The last time Chris Jericho was good was when he was a babyface in 2021, but that was like 6 weeks, and that was mainly just his singing song without the music with Judas. Oh yeah, they played Judas, then Chris stopped that. So then MJF music played before Adam Cole comes out, and MJF got a big pop. But then Adam Cole music played, and I guess this now the theme song, the tag team theme song. I don't get what this was supposed to be. But now MJF is high-fiving the fans, and Tony Schiavone like, this looks so weird. I'm like, okay, Tony. So then they have a dance-off. You know, I should hate this dance-off, but this is so crazy, and this is the crazy stuff that I love about professional wrestling sometimes. Because you can't do this in the UFC or Major League Baseball or the MLB, Major League Baseball, the UFC, football, basketball. But in pro wrestling, you can go from a pro wrestling show to 4 dudes having a dance-off and it being wildly over with the crowd. And I'm not entirely sure exactly what Daniel Garcia was doing, other than just gyrating with pelvic thrusting, trying to look like Big E. But he seemed okay, I guess. And then the match, the MJF dance was very good. Then it was stopped by Sammy and Daniel, who sneak attacked them. You know, I got a great name for Sammy and Daniel Garcia. How about SDGG? How about SDSG? Think about it. Sammy Guevara, Daniel Garcia. SDG. If you say it really fast, you can see what it sounds like. SDG. 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 Would be a great tag team name. Just say it over and over. Say it 10 times fast. STG. 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 Have you figured it out yet? But then we go back to wrestling. Then Excalibur comes up. MJF and Adam Cole ping pong Daniel Garcia. They yelled double clotheslines. MJF won the rope like 15 times. Taz didn't say Yambag Yossi. I just love Taz on commentary. MJF gets isolated a lot. Hot tag to Adam Cole. They yell double clothesline again. Then they do a double. Then Sammy Guevara do a double standing Spanish fly, which was a pretty impressive. But at the same time, the more and more you see a Spanish fly, the less and less impactful it becomes. It's like how a DDT can no longer really be anybody's finisher because we see it so often that it's just like, well, this can clearly not beat anybody anymore. But there was a lot of doubles in this match. They yelled double clothesline like 5 times. There was a double dance-off basically. There was a double sneak attack. There was a Yambag Yossi at a certain point. So there was a head to the balls at some point, you know. MJF didn't finally dive in his shot, and I love that moment so much just because of how the crowd got into it. And the crowd was like, yeah. This crowd in Baltimore, I don't know if they were just so excited, because I think this might have been the debut in Baltimore, but these people were so into everything. And then they hit the double clothesline, and they win the match. And then afterwards, Sammy Guevara and Daniel Garcia, Sammy Guevara's on the steps like, well, we've lost. We suck. We've lost. He's just sitting on the step pouting like a little boy. I mean, I guess he is. I mean, your life can't be going that bad. I'm sure you're making money. Your wife's having a kid. I'm sure that's nice. But then Daniel Garcia and him Chris Jericho come and get to go, hey, sorry, I know you guys lost, but it's okay. But then they just walk away from, which was actually great storytelling in the sense of, hey, dude, you are trying to abandon us for Don Callis, so we're done with you. We're done with you. And he also told him, don't no longer be with me. You guys should branch out on your own. That's what they're doing. They're dumping you. Clearly, them still using the Jericho Preacher side name clearly showed that they lost. So FTR comes out. The commentators talk about FTR, MJF, and Adam Cole have tension. They're 10-time champions. Dash says, "Play our music, Tony." That looked like a shoot from Dash. That looked like Dash was just pissed. Collision recap. I'm gonna say this as fast. I'm gonna try to say this as fast as it's Cowboy. Okay, collision recap. Julia Hart beat somebody. Will Nightingale won the Owen Hart Women's Tournament. Ricky Starks won the Owen Hart Men's Tournament. He was mean to Juice and Thunder Liger. Backstage segment about the TBS Championship. About the TBS, the Ring of Honor, Warrior Rampage. I could care less. No one cares. You want to see that? You can look it up. Shark Week. Jason Momoa is gonna be on Discovery. So if you're a fan of Jason Momoa, you got that to look forward to. I'm actually a big fan of Aquaman. I'm also a big fan of Jason Momoa. Great actor. They should have had him show up on this program. That would have been funny. He shows up. But he doesn't show up as Jason Momoa. They find a way to make him show up as Aquaman. That would be money. Okay, so let's get to the AEW third ever Blood and Guts match. Yippee. So Claudio Castagnoli and Kenny Omega start the match off. And the way I'm going to do the Blood and Guts is I'm going to review it each time the match takes place. Each different entrance. And then I'm going to give you an overall view of the match. And then right before I'm done, I'm going to tell you all the star ratings. Because I forgot about those for 2 of these matches. So anyways. So the match starts with good start. They battle back and forth. Both men have the advantage at separate times. The next entrance is Pac, and he does John Moxley walk from the parking lot entrance. If you've watched Jim Cornette, you know what I'm talking about. So then it goes Kenny Omega versus Claudio Castagnoli and Pac. Pac does a double Mr. Drop Kick. Pac attack Omega. They talk about how Pac was injured Pac was injured at last year and has waited 7 months to get the advantage, to get his revenge. Wow, 7 months. That is true because it is July. Good for Tony Khan. He knows how to count. Actually, the rest of Pac's entrance all take place in picture-in-picture. And when I'm watching it, they don't actually show you what happens in picture-in-picture. So I have nothing else to tell you about that. Then it's Kenny Omega and Adam Page versus Claudio Castagnoli and Pac. Heyman and Adam Page take over the match, basically. He fires up. He does a moonsault, which still looks stupid. Heyman Page and Adam Cole and Kenny Omega were together. They talk about how they used to be former AEW World Tag Team Champions in 2020 during the pandemic. They double team boot him at some point. I don't know. Then we go to part 4. Here comes Moxley the Plumber. Moxley used weapons and a bunch of fake punches. The rest of that also somehow take place in picture-in-picture. Here comes Nick Jackson of the Young Bucks. I don't care about Nick Jackson. And that also took place in picture-in-picture, so I have nothing to tell you about that. Okay, here we go. Then when Nick Jackson shows up, that all takes place in picture-in-picture. So I have nothing else to tell you because the way I'm watching it, they don't show you picture-in-picture. So maybe comment in the comment section what happened there. I have no clue. So then it's Kenny Omega, Heyman Page, and here comes John Moss. Here comes Nick Jackson. Nick Jackson runs wild for a little bit. Suplex, somehow thumbtacks are involved at some point. I don't even know where that came from, but Omega gets thumbtacks. Oh yeah, here comes Will Useless with a chair. And can I just say something about Will Yuta? He sucks. He is horrible. He is useless as a man comes. He's even more useless than Daniel Garcia. Because at least Daniel Garcia has his weird pervert thrust to go back on. That's somewhat funny. If you have a weird sense of humor. But Will Yuta's just nothing but like... He's like the bland... He can't be vanilla... He can't be vanilla ice cream. Because people actually like vanilla ice cream. He's worse than... He's like the most boringest man on television because he has no physique. He does the same exact things in his matches, and he looks like he's 15, but has the beard of a 45-year-old man. And also, he's really useless. I stole that. That's Jim Cornette's, not mine. So Yuta comes in. He has a chair. Yuta useless. He uses a chair. So there's not much to tell you about this match because not much took place. It was just a bunch of men brawling. So I just kind of laid the notes down. But then they hit Whiskey Business, which is just like a DDT into like a flip or something. Here comes Kanosuke Take a Shit. Kanosuke Take a Shit also has a chair. John Moxley is bleeding. Big surprise there. Spikes onto the board he gets. Part 10. Here comes Kota Ibushi. Kota Ibushi attacks Yuta on the outside. Moxley gets Ibushi kicked and shot by Ibushi. Moxley is bleeding still. More blood now. Now it looks like Moxley. I think Moxley just cut himself open for fun. Yeah, I'm sure Warner Media is gonna be happy about that. A backflip kick onto a bed of nails. Yuta and Matt battle on the outside, and then on the top of the cage. Suplex on top of the cage. I thought he was going to go for like a full rotation from one side of the cage to the other, but turns out they couldn't do that. Moxley pyrodized Ibushi in a moment no one could care about. The Golden Leader didn't do all their finishers. Pac stomps Matt Jackson from throughout the table 20 feet. That was actually pretty good. Both teams regrouped, and then they just start hitting each other. All the teams didn't collide in the center. All finishers at once again. One Wing Angel into the Brutalizer, which is actually a very good move. Hold, actually a very good move. After the Brutalizer, all the Golden Wing are in finishers, and then Kota Ibushi breaks up all the finishers. But he does it so lightly. He's just like, kick, 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 kick. But Claudio's like, no, kick, kick, kick. And then Claudio gets it. Everyone attacks Omega at the same time. Pac and Claudio argue. Pac walks out the door. With Boca, get Boca, and then just walks out the cage back past like I'm doing. I thought he was gonna hold up a white flag and go, I surrender, white flag, I surrender. But no, he just let buttshot lariat to Moxley and then to Yuta. Dante Kanosuke Katecha out of the ring. Yuta is choked out, but then later it's said that he actually surrendered. Moxley actually surrendered to lose the match. So now that I'm done with that, I'm going to give you my thoughts over on the show as a whole. I think it was actually a pretty good show, to be quite frankly. I liked it. I actually did enjoy watching the Blood and Gut match, even though I barely could keep up with it. And I think the best match was the Adam Cole and Blind Eliminator Tournament Finals match. And I'll say that's the best match, mainly because the crowd was super into it. Like, you could tell this crowd was super into that match. And I don't know what's going to happen, but I think there could be a chance MJF might turn babyface up until Collision. I think they're losing that Collision, then they're going to go into a feud for, I'm thinking Wembley. Because they got no British people employed, unless you're going to turn Pac babyface again and have him go up against MJF. I don't know how that's going to work, but hey, I guess you could do that. But now let me give you a star rating. The first match, I rate 3 stars. Jungle Boy versus Hook, 3 stars. Second match, I give that 0. I would just give that 1 star because, well, it was over and done quickly. And honestly, the Blind Eliminator match, I'm giving that match. You know what? I'm gonna give that match 4.5 stars. It wasn't quite there to be 5 stars. And the Blood and Guts match, you know what? 5 stars, honestly. 5 stars. Mainly because I was entertained thoroughly throughout it. Was it the best match in the world? No. Was it the best War Game match I've ever seen? No. Was it the best Warside Blood and Guts match I've ever seen? No. That was last year's War Games match in Survivor Series War Game in 2022. That is the best War Games match I've seen since I've been alive. I know somebody's going to disagree with me, but that's just the best War Game match I've seen since I've been alive. And I've only been alive for 21 years. But I will give the Blood and Guts match 5 out of 5. 5 stars. 5 stars, absolutely. Great match. And my whole review of the show as a whole, I would give it a solid 4 stars. Not, you know what? No, 4.5 stars. 4.5 stars overall. And well, I don't have much else to say. This has been great to review an episode of Dynamite again. I'm going to be trying to do more of these. Hopefully I'm going to be trying to do more of these. I'm going to try to do a Collision. I know they're doing War Rampage, so I'm going to do a War Rampage review, and then a Collision review, and then maybe not Monday Night Raw because it's 3 hours long, and I would not have the time to. I do not have 3 hours of my life to watch that and take notes for that. So most likely won't do that. I'd probably do an NXT review and then maybe another Dynamite review, and then probably do some pay-per-view reviews. Probably going to do a big SummerSlam pay-per-view review. I'm also, hopefully, if everything works out, I'm actually going to a collision tape, a live collision, because they're coming to the Bible Center where I live in Greenville, South Carolina. They're coming. So I'm going to that so I can do some live review. I can do some live predictions for that. It's actually the same day as SummerSlam, which should be very interesting. Should be very interesting. But I got nothing else to say. Tune in next time for my next review, which will be War Rampage. Hopefully either Saturday or Sunday. See you guys next time.